So this is our application, dripndashdeveloper, and the goal of this application is to allow college students living in dorms to request for other students in their dorm to pick up their laundry, wash and dry it, and bring it back to their room when it's done, and also to provide college students living in dorms to register to provide those services and become what we call a dasher. So most of the use cases we're going to show today are best shown with a customer and a dasher logged in simultaneously. So on the left screen, I'm going to log in as a user that's registered as a customer. And on the right, I'm going to log in as a user that's registered as a dasher. And just to briefly show the registration pages, if you click this button here, you're shown a page that allows you to register as a customer or a dasher, and if you click this button, you get the full registration page. Okay, so let's log in as a customer on the left and log in as a dasher on the right. So this is the customer homepage on the left here, and in this top portion is where you submit a request for your laundry to be picked up. This top field is where you enter the estimated number of loads, and this text field here is where you input the instructions for how you want it to be handled. And then the bottom portion here is where you can see a table with all of your current in-progress requests. And on the right here is the dasher homepage. And this table is where the dasher can see all of his in-progress jobs, and this button will assign the dasher a job if there are any available. So the first use case we want to demonstrate is the customer use case of submitting a laundry request. So let's enter the estimated number of loads, let's say 1, and our instructions are wash it on cold and don't get it dirty. So when we click this submit request button, it will first show this confirmation message with the estimated cost based on the estimated number of loads the customer inputted. So let's submit this request. And as you can see, that request was added to the table here with the current status in this top line and the job ID in this bottom line, which won't be shown on the final application. It's just shown right now because it makes testing easier. And the other thing this submit request button does is it writes this job request to the database so that it can be updated by the dasher and assigned when the dasher requests to be assigned a job. So the second use case we want to show is the dasher use case of accepting a job request. So if we click this button, it'll load. So this is just a notification that there was a job available and it's been assigned to this user, so we want to accept this job. And as you can see, that job was added to this table and with the current status and the job ID here. And as you can see on the customer side, the status was updated when the dasher accepted the request. And just to briefly discuss how this button works, it reads all of the jobs within the dorm this dasher lives in, which this dasher lives in a dorm called Quad, as does this customer. And so for security reasons, we're restricting it so that dashers can only respond to job requests that were posted within their dorm. So the second use case we want, the third use case that I'm going to show is the ability of a customer to see the updated status of the job request. So if we click on this job request item here, we're shown the status page. And in this top portion here, the customer can see all of the information about the job and about the dasher that was assigned to it. So as you can see, the name of this dasher is this. And this dasher has a rating of 3 6.6 out of 5, and the estimated cost and the instructions. And this bottom portion here is where the customer can see the status. So the next use case I'm going to show is the ability of a dasher to update the current status of the job request. So if we click this item here, we're shown the dasher job status page, and this is just all the basic information about the job that the dasher will need to complete it. You can see the customer instructions here, the customer's dorm room, which is needed for picking up and dropping off the laundry, and the dorm. So let's tell the customer that we're on way for pickup. And it should update here. It's just the simulator is slow. Let's tell the customer that we picked up the laundry. Sometimes you have to click the button for it to fully update. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, when these status update buttons are clicked on the dasher side, the status is updated here on the customer end. And the way that works is every time this button here is clicked, the job request in the database is updated, and on the customer end there's a listener associated with this page that listens for changes and updates the page when the value in the database is changed. So let's just go through the normal update process. Laundry's in the washer, finished washing, laundry's in the dryer. And now when I click this button, the next use case that's shown is the ability of a dasher to update the cost information associated with the request, because the customer had inputted an estimated number of loads, but it could be the case that more machines and loads were required to process the customer's request. So when we click this button, we are shown this pop-up where we can enter the total cost required to process the request and the total number of loads that were actually required. So let's just say the customer was right and it cost $3 to process it, and it was only one load of laundry. Let's submit that information. Submit. As you can see here, it says finished drying. Let's tell the customer we're on way for drop off. Should update here. Let's just go back. And just a quick note, the status of the job requests are all updated on this table as well in real time. So as you can see, the dasher is on way for drop off. So let's say we dropped off the laundry, and on the dasher end we're just shown this pop-up notification with the amount of money we will receive for this job based on the updated cost information the dasher inputted. So let's click OK. And the next use case I'm going to show is the ability of a customer to leave a review for a dasher. So let's say this was a 5-star review, and we can leave a rating from 0 to 5 and a written review as well. So let's just say very quick service. Done. So when the job is finished, it's removed from the table both on the customer end and on the dasher end. So the next use case I'm going to show is the ability of a customer to cancel a job request once it's been submitted. So let's just submit the same request. Submit. Let's ask to be assigned a job, and this was the only job in the queue, so let's accept it. Open the status page, and if we click this button here, we are shown this pop-up with a confirm cancel. So we do want to cancel it, so let's click yes, cancel. And on the customer end, the job is removed from the table, and on the dasher end, this pop-up, not loading, is shown just notifying us that the customer canceled the request. So let's just click OK, and the job is removed from the table. So the next use case we're going to show is the ability of both the customer and the dasher to see all of their past requests and jobs and see the detailed information about each individual job. So let's click the past request page, just wait for it to load. I'll do the same on the dasher end. Just loaded. Okay. So these are all of the customer's requests, and the top line here shows the date and time at which the request was submitted, and this bottom line here shows the amount the customer paid for it. So let's just click this, and we're shown all of the information about the request in this top portion here, the dasher that was assigned to it, the rating we left, the review we left, the instructions we gave, and then this bottom portion here is the receipt for the job with the actual number of loads required to process the request and the total cost we paid. And similar on the dasher end, if we click, let's click a different one. This one cost $157. So this page is not loading. Let's go back and click it again. Okay, so here we are on the dasher end. For privacy reasons, we did not want to show the customer name or the rating or review the customer left. So all the dasher can see is the date the request was submitted, and the estimated number of loads and the customer instructions, and then similar on the customer and the receipt portion over here just shows the actual number of loads and the total cost required to process the request. So let's go back and let's go to the home page.